Hello, you guys. Welcome back to As Told by Kenya. It is my reality TV video, so we have stuff we need to talk about. The first thing I want to discuss is Porsha Williams is getting divorced from her husband, Simon. Last week, they announced that she filed for divorce from her husband, Simon. This is coming after the news that Simon has been in some immigration issues because of some laws that he broke a few decades ago. Things having to do with fraud, things having to do with fake visas, things having to do with all types of stuff like that. So it has been really hard for him to gain citizenship. They claim that he was involved in a fake marriage to get a visa. The visa that he came to America on after he got deported the first time was not a real visa because he used someone else's identity. There's just a lot going on there. And so he's been having issues becoming an American citizen. And so then Porsha would file for divorce. What do I think of this? I think that Porsha is a woman who does not like to be embarrassed. I think Porsha is a woman who doesn't like other people talking about her. And I think that she wanted to just be clear of it. Here is the thing. I think it's really weird that Porsha always be dating these either old or ugly men. I'm not saying ugly to be nasty. I'm just saying these men they just don't seem like they are in Porsha's bracket of beauty. And so I think Porsha marries these men. She dates these men to get something out of it. These men be having money and they can give her a lifestyle. That's nothing new, especially nothing new in Atlanta. But my thing is, that's a dime a dozen. It is a dime a dozen to find some old ugly man who want to take care of somebody who look like Porsha. So why go through all of the antics if there are going to be antics? And then it begs the question why Simon married Porsha. Simon could have married Porsha because he thought Porsha was going to be able to get him citizenship. So maybe once everything fell through, they was both like, we don't need to be with each other anymore. But I am, of course, on Porsha's side. Y'all better leave these men. Porsha was only there for one reason anyway. Porsha would not have been with Simon if Simon didn't have no money. Now, I've heard people say that Simon ain't got no money no more, so now she not with him. I don't know if that's true. I feel like we're making a statement about something that's not those two dots being connected. There's this idea that because Simon did fraud back in the day, Simon don't got money now. And I don't know if that is true. Now, there are people who are saying that the businesses that would give him his money are not legitimate. So that I don't have any proof to that. But I don't know if necessarily Simon just ain't got no money. But also, I don't see Porsha just leaving Simon if Simon do got a bunch of money and they living well. I know Porsha doesn't like to be embarrassed, but I can't imagine she just would just throw all of that away. She living great. Simon got a bunch of money and everything is on the up and up. But here is the thing. This is kind of like the Greg and Sweet Tea thing on Married to Medicine. I thought it was weird they still kept living in Fallon House. I thought it was very weird they continue to live in Fallon House. And so that do show signs of maybe everything in the milk ain't clean. Maybe the money ain't where the money should be, because you would think if everything is great, I'm going to move me and my new wife into a different house. That's not the house I had with Fallon. So I don't know what's going on, but I do know a lot of people are excited about Porsha now getting a divorce because Porsha is coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I can't necessarily say I feel the same way, only because I truly wanted to see how Porsha lived. I always thought something was weird about this entire thing, because here's the thing, Porsha ain't nobody who broke. Like, Porsha was making good money on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So for her to give that up to be with Simon, it told me that something about the home life that she had with Simon, she didn't want people to see. There was something at home that she did not want people to see, because who wouldn't just collect an easy ass check? So that's what that told me. So I wanted to see what was going on behind closed doors. But her coming back to Real Housewives should have told us that she wasn't staying with that man for long. But I'm gonna give Porsha credit. Porsha said, "Oop, time to get a job. Time to get a job again." So now I guess we're going to be getting Porsha divorce storyline. The interesting thing is, if you go to Porsha's Instagram, I follow Porsha on Instagram, just as recently as Valentine's Day, she was talking about being with Simon. She was talking about happy wife, getting roses, and then they were on a boat together in Miami. So, like, what happened so soon? Like, what was all the, like, I ain't doing this shit no more. This is all over. This is done. What happened so quickly? So, like, casting. Porsha got a divorce going on, so that's interesting. I really hope we get information about that, because here is the thing. Y'all, we be saying they getting divorced. Ooh, we about to get the tea. We didn't get the tea with Ashley, Darby, and Michael. We still don't know why the fuck they not divorced yet. Kenya was trying to divorce Nose Ring for like how long, and we didn't get no information on any of that. So there's like this new precedent where like you can go through a divorce and none of us have to know anything about it. Even if you take Drew Sidora, Drew and Ralph was going through whatever the hell they was going through, and they was acting like everything was sweet on the cameras, and the minute the cameras cut, they got divorced. So there, I wouldn't go as far as to be like, yeah, we gonna get all the tea, because the producers of today, not the producers of yesterday, and they be letting these girls slip and slide, and not tell their business. So we hold Porsha's feet to the fire. She gonna be back, and we get some mess. There's people out there saying that, ooh, Kenya gonna have a field day with this. Like I said, it took Kenya half a decade to get a divorce from Nose Ring. Like, I don't think she got any, like, feet to stand on. Like, they both in the same boat, goddamn it, as far as I'm concerned. At least Porsha don't got a co-parent with goddamn Simon. She got to still co-parent with Mark. So she ain't got nothing to be happy about. Fallon got 11 kids, so she don't got nothing to be happy about. The cast. You guys want to know, at this point, since we got to get the leftovers, what my dream cast of leftovers is? I can't get rid of Kenya no matter how hard I try, so Kenya had to be there. Porsha is there, right? Those are two people we know. We did not hear any information about Drew not coming back. Y'all know I'm a Drew apologist. I don't know if she's coming back. If she is, I'm there for it, because she's also, it's divorce season for her too. So Kenya, Porsha, Drew. I need Sheree gone. I do not want Sheree here. The fact that Sheree didn't get a pink slip with Sonya and Marlo is pissing me off. But anyway, so no Sheree for me. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people don't want Kim back because nobody wants to give Kim a handout. Nobody wants to give Kim a handout because she left Real Housewives of Atlanta so nasty. But y'all, Kim is in so much debt to the IRS, to the credit card companies, to the state of Georgia. She is in so much goddamn debt. There is nothing that Bravo could give her that will help her with this debt. Like, Kim is going to just have to file for bankruptcy. Like, that is it. There is no way out of it. There's no way she can make enough money to get out of here. She need to go contact Simon to get a word on some of them scams at this point. So, like, why not? I'm sorry. I love to see somebody at their worst. I want to see Kim on there. People are saying Phaedra should come back, and I don't think, you know what? I don't think Phaedra would necessarily come back, because Phaedra would have to talk about her bullshit, and she do not want to do that. So I actually don't think Phaedra would come back. I think she's going to sit there and collect an easy check on Married to Medicine. But if she did, I would want her. And yeah, that's that. But I always say I'd rather have a totally new cast. Speaking of totally new cast, I've been seeing them clips from Real Housewives of Potomac. No, I do not watch Real Housewives of Potomac, but boy, do they need to end that shit. Do they need to end that shit? So, Real Housewives of Atlanta, done. Let's move on. Survivor. So, Jeff Probst was talking about Survivor, and he was saying how as long as he's running the show, he's not going to have like any villain edits. So if you watch Survivor like I watch Survivor, back in the day, there used to be people who were 100% villains. They were there to make everyone's lives miserable. They were the villain of the show. You had heroes, you had villains, you had mean girls, you had everyone kind of had an archetype. That's kind of how Survivor was kind of built. Survivor was built as this social experiment, getting people of different archetypes together and see can they live together. That was the social experiment of Survivor. But new Survivor does not have that. There's just people on an island. And Jeff Probst said as long as he stays on the show, it's going to remain like that. And Jeff Probst, therein lies the issue. Survivor can be good, but at the root of it right now, Survivor is a watered down version of what it could be. And I was saying this during last season. I miss the archetypes. I miss when, instead of giving us backstories on these characters, instead of fleshing out these characters about shit we really don't care about, we don't care about these people's personal life, just giving us an archetype that these people fit and us seeing them as that. I know it sounds cheap, but when it comes to a reality competition show, it kind of has to be that way because like you only see these people for these amount of episodes and never again. I miss having the ditzy girl. I miss having the mean girl. I miss having the useless jock. There are archetypes we get too much of. How many nerds do we have to have on these shows? How many? I play Pokemon. I have a 3D printer. How many? I play video games all day. How many of them do we need on the show? We get no other archetypes and we keep getting the I'm a nerd. That's Jeff Probst's favorite archetype. A bunch of nerds. So it's not endearing because there's no other archetypes around them. So it's just like, here's the nerd character and nothing else. Since Cochran, nothing else. We get nerds and nothing else. Then you get Christian. He was a nerd. So we're just filled with nerds because people like the nerds in the 30 seasons. And so it's just like, I don't mind the nerd if there's other different types of characters. So give me my heroes, give me my villains. Like this show, like everything about new Survivor, I'm going to say it, is simply just too happy. It is just too happy. Nobody gets blown out in competitions. But the thing is, the stuff that's like mean-spirited is the stuff we don't want to be mean-spirited. Think taking away their flint so they can't eat, not giving them food. My biggest thing that I think is so mean-spirited is not getting the merge feast. I think that is so mean-spirited. Like, that's the thing. You get to merge and you get a feast. And it is so mean-spirited that these people go to merge and they don't get a feast. No. Another thing that I want Survivor to change, can we go back to immunity idols being normal? Can we go back to you finding an immunity idol and that's fucking it? I am so sick and tired of you gotta play duck, duck, goose, 7-Up, hide and seek just for your immunity idol to fucking work. Like, absolutely not. Let's go back to just regular you found the idol. Now, if I had my choice, we would bring Exile Island back. I think Exile Island needs to make a return.
Hi, you guys. I'm editing this video and I literally forgot to bring up one of my biggest issues with modern Survivor: losing your vote. I think there are some things that happen in Survivor that go against the overall nature of what Survivor is. And my biggest thing is losing your vote. When you get kicked off of Survivor, Jeff Probst says, your tribe has spoken. Your tribe has spoken. If everyone in the tribe has not voted, my tribe has not spoken. And in this past season, there were so many times where people were just losing their vote and it just gets confusing. So there's that right there where it's just confusing to know who has a vote. And then everyone should vote at the very minimum. The minimum, everyone should be able to vote. You might get blown out. Somebody might idle you out. Who knows what's going to happen at Tribal. But at least you get to cast a vote. You get to cast a vote. You get to vote somebody out that night. Whoever does not have the immunity idol. period. I think we should go back to saying you can't lose your vote. That's what Survivor is literally built on. So that's another thing that really, really pisses me off.
But that would bring me to the issue of the show altogether. It's the Fiji of it. Here is the thing. I get it. We're never leaving Fiji. We're never leaving Fiji. We are forever gonna be in goddamn Fiji. Why does Fiji have to feel so small? Like when you go watch the original Fiji season with Earl and Dreams and all of them, a season I actually think like it's bad but good. It's good in a bad way. It's bad in a good way. Like, I don't know, but Fiji seemed like an entire world. Fiji was an entire world, but now Fiji just seems so small. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, Jeff Probst, can we get better competitions? Everything is an obstacle course turned puzzle. It gets to the point where it's not even like watchable to me. Like, I want to fast forward through it. Like, it's just not interesting to watch because it's the same thing over and over again. Like, give us new stuff. And the thing is, I get it. You don't want to tear down all the forest in Fiji to put this stuff up. Number one, make shit smaller. Can we get more personable competitions? Can we get competitions where it's like everybody just standing in a line, take one step forward? Or I remember, what season was that? Was it, I think Rob was on this season, not Boston Rob, other Rob. So this might have been All Stars, or it could have just been his original season, where they just sat around, they just were in a circle answering questions about one another, or just answering questions, and that was it was fun. What happened to that? Just sitting around answering questions one another. Speaking of Fiji, in Fiji they had that competition with like memory. You had to memorize certain things, and like it was one of the where is the stuff that is just so goddamn simple? I miss it. I really, really miss it. Another issue I have, saturation. Go watch the original Fiji season. Now, you have to keep in mind that could have been filmed at a specific time in Fiji, like during the year. So, like, the weather was different. I believe Survivor is oversaturated in color. I get it. Fiji is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Water is blue. It ain't that goddamn blue. It ain't that goddamn blue. I think all of television is far too high definition. Like, we see stuff too clear on television. I 100% think we need to dial it back. Like, shit is just too bright on TV. Like, it hurts your eyes. But Survivor is the worst of it. It is just all oversaturated mess. And the thing is, I know it's oversaturated because I know the original Fiji season doesn't look like this. And I'm sure Fiji has different weather. Like, why does everything just look sunny and saturated? Everything's just sunny and saturated, and it makes all of the seasons blend together, especially because my next issue with Survivor, let's bring themes back. It is time to bring themes back. It's so funny. You see how we cry and then want the shit back? I remember when Jeff got a little too crazy with themes. Like, the themes got a little ridiculous, and everybody was like, get rid of the themes, go back to basics. No, it's time to bring themes back. It's time to bring campiness back to Survivor, and we need to bring some themes back. We need to have, this goes back to archetypes, right? We need to bring back themes. We need to bring back people like this side versus this side. We need to bring it back because I miss it. I really, really miss it. So the saturation is a huge issue I have with Fiji because it all just looks the same. It looks exactly the same. Nothing is interesting in any way. So yeah, are those all my complaints with Survivor? I can't say Jeff needs to shut up because I actually feel like this past season, Jeff was kind of quiet. Jeff didn't say that much this season. So yeah, I do think everything that happens at Merge with the fake merge, like the first time we did a fake merge, okay, cute, okay, but like we keep doing these fake ass merges to the point like they're expected. It's like, cut it out. Like, absolutely cut it out. It's not interesting anymore. We don't want to see it no more. And so Jeff Probst, I do think you need to listen to people. Oh, I forgot another thing I want to complain about. The Sanctuary. The Sanctuary. I get it. Survivor is just going to get cheaper and cheaper. Gone are the days where we are going to get these big old rewards, these sponsored rewards. Like, it's just gonna get cheaper and cheaper because Survivor has figured out that, like, it can be bare bones, still bring in better ratings than anything else would at that time slot on CBS. And so it don't need to do a lot. Like, Survivor at this point is just in cruise control, right? The people who care about it, care about it. The people who don't, you know? So, like, we're never going to get big rewards. But can we get something better than the Sanctuary? The Sanctuary is such a cop-out. Like, everyone just goes to this Sanctuary, eats cold-ass food, and it's just like, I remember being interested in the rewards, and that's kind of where it's at right now with Survivor. Yes, I still enjoy it because even bad Survivor can be watchable, and I don't think this Survivor on right now is bad. I just think that, like, there were elements of the show people really enjoyed that added to it, and all of those elements seem to keep getting taken away and taken away and taken away. And I just think, what are we going to be left with except, and you're making the characters do a lot of work. The characters now have to do a lot of work where usually the show would do a lot of the work. Because when you think about it, there are so many people who have played Survivor pre-40 who are so forgettable. Let's think of the golden years of Survivor. So not even pre-40. The golden years of Survivor. So up heroes versus villains and before. There were so many people who are so fucking forgettable. But the seasons are still so good. It's because everything else around it. There's a reason why those seasons are the most rewatchable of the seasons. Because it's not the people. The people are not what makes it rewatchable. It's everything else around them. It's how they react to everything else around them. That's what makes it rewatchable. Anyways, but now if you already know who's going to win the storylines in this, it's not interesting to watch. Like, there's nothing else to be there for because the people are the only thing there. Fiji look the goddamn same every time we see it. Anyways, that is that on that. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.